Afadhali mzee ambaye ni mtulivu, ambaye hana haja ya kujaza mifuko yake, ambaye atachunga masilahi ya watu yake, badala ya mdomo tamtamu 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 tamtamu. Lakini akiingia ni wale wa kufanya moja yako, nusu ya mwananchi, mbili yako na tano yangu. Na mnawajua nyinyi
kutafuta uongozi kwa kutumia dini au kutumia kabila, unagawa watu. Kazi ya uongozi ni kujenga watu wawe kitu kimoja.
The 2.2 billion has been spent in the office of the president and State House between July and September. If you do that calculation, it means that we spend in that office 23 million per day and 1 million per hour. That cannot be sustainable.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunakaa kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako.
Nasikia watu wanasema baba ametusaliti. Between baba kutusaliti na sisi kusaliti baba, nani amesaliti mwingine?
Inapeangwa, it mostly goes to foreign ministries. So Baba is overqualified for that position.
To build this railways for Africa. So now he's thinking about tumemkataa kama baba wetu.
Unaweza kuwa kuna mtoto ulizaa, ukapatia nchi, ikuwe inamfanya vile inataka.
Uhuru has been working very hard. Ruto akaenda huko na nguvu. Ruto was never invited in the inauguration.
Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Soundcard Talk.
Open Forum Political Discussion Show. The show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development.
Tukutane Soundcard Talk.
Tonight. First accused person before this court, Joseph Kuria Irungu alias Jowie, shall suffer death as provided for the offense of murder under section 204.
How do you plead to charge number 3, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very well versed with Rule 30.
Just read Rule 30.
I am well versed with the rule. I just want to say...
I am not versed. Read it for me, please.
But you cannot direct me to read.
Honorable Soro, as long as he's not a member of this Senate, can participate the same way your other members have been able to make contribution in the court process.
Tonight. Audio Jungle.
All that English is lost, though. The mic. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God have mercy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the outcry. Sorry for the sound mix. I hope you are now able to get me. YouTubers, confirm if you're able to get my sound. Boss lady. Okay, we are now loud and clear. Thank you, boss lady. Sorry for the mix-up. I think I got carried away with the TikTokers and forgot the YouTubers, but I'm happy that we are back. Well, thank you very much. Naomba sasa tumakinike tunapoanza kwa pamoja. Karibisha mtu ili tukaanze upya tena. Na leo hii mambo mengi na we are looking at the ruling today of Jowie at the courts, sentencing him to death, which is a controversial ruling, as to say the least, because of what is a standing precedence by reason of the Supreme Court pronouncing itself over the sentence 1 to murder as a violation of human rights. So we don't know where this is headed, but after the ruling, the mother to Jowie still cries out and says his son is innocent. And so this begs the question, are we hanging the wrong man? And probably the really killers of Monica Kimani are out there and celebrating that they got the wrong man. This is what I invite Kenyans to look at. And of course, all right, intending people to scrutinize this case, because we have had a lot of English, a lot of grammar, a lot of exchanges, but I still am left with many questions about whether Jowie was really capable of doing what he is accused of. So without being his defense or digging in for his defense, I just want us to ventilate on the same. The mother says the son is innocent. Do you agree with the mother, or you agree with the judge that he is as guilty as judged? And that's what forms the poll question tonight. Do you believe that Jowie is guilty of the murder of Monica Kimani? You can vote yes or no on Sound Candy Talk Live and Sound Candy Talk YouTube channels. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of this great conversation. We call upon you, please let us know where you're getting us from. Confirm if you can get us loud and clear. And then, of course, we need you to be on board as we look extensively on this matter. Are we hanging the wrong man, or we got the right man on this murder case? Let's look at it keenly. Then, of course, the other shocking reality that Kenyans have to helplessly face is that the doctors are going on strike in less than 15 minutes from now, and that means the medics, or rather the healthcare system, is grinding to a halt tonight, and Kenyans are on their own. We don't know what is going to become of their healthcare, and of course, the government seems not to be serious about sorting out the issues they have with doctors. And so doctors on strike. If you have a patient, our prayers are with you. And please, we encourage you, please stay healthy, stay out of trouble. This is trying time in this great country where we have a government that seems not to be serious when it comes to putting the interests of Kenyans ahead of everything else. And so as doctors start their strike in less than 50 minutes from now, there will be trouble. So stay out of trouble, stay out of anything that may require you to be medically attended to, because our medical system, or whatever, our healthcare system, no promise again. We don't know what Nahumicha is up to. and whether she's up to the task on this particular issue. So karibu sana tunapoanza mkutano wetu usiku wa leo, tunaangazia masuala haya mawili, and then of course kuna ile impeachment ya deputy governor wa Kisii County ambayo inaendelea sasa hivi kwa Senate, and then of course Opiyo Wandayi has pronounced himself on behalf of Azimio on the issue of doctors going on strike, and he says he's not seeing any seriousness by the government in sorting out this matter, and therefore Kenyans are at the mercy of an irresponsible government, and the way forward is not clear. Well, karibu kwa show. Naomba tafadhali karibisha mtu, tumia hiyo link, ingia kwa studio tukajadili masuala haya. Usikae mbali, hii inaitwa Sound Candy Talk. Tuko hapa kusema masuala haya kwa wazi wazi, lakini swala ambalo ni nyeti sana ni kuhukumiwa kifo kwa Jowie na of course courts of Kenya on the murder of Monica Kimani. Na swala ambalo tunauliza ni kwamba mamake Jowie anasema mwanawe hajakosea ama hakutekeleza hicho kitendo. Sijui unaonaje? Na najua wengi wetu hapa, kuna wengine wetu hapa ni kina mama. Kuna vile mhubiri ambaye ni mwalimu wangu wa mahubiri, alikuwa anaitwa R.W. Shambak. She is late now. Alikuwa anasema mama, kuna njia moja ya kuelewa mambo yake, kuelewa watoto wake, ambayo ni ngumu sana kumdanganya mama. Ukikuja na kasturi hapo, kuna vile tu ana njia ya kujua kama unamdanganya ama unamwambia ukweli. Na kulingana na mamake Jowie, anasema hiyo story yote mnasema si kweli. Wewe unaonaje? Naomba tafadhali tumakinike. Karibu studio. Naomba tafadhali tuingie studio. Hii ni mjadala, tunapaswa kufanya nini? Kuongea masuala haya kwa kina. Asante sana, na kuomba tafadhali tumakinike, tukaribishana, kushare link. Watazamaji wajafika mahali wanapaswa kufika. Jitahidi tafadhali tunapoendelea. A short commercial break to give you opportunity to invite somebody even as we dive deep into this conversation. Thank you.
Tonight. First accused person before this court, Joseph Kuria Irungu alias Jowie, shall suffer death as provided for the offense of murder under section 204.
How do you plead to charge number 3, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very well versed with Rule 30.
Just read Rule 30.
I am well versed with the rule. I just want to say...
I am not versed. Read it for me, please.
But you cannot direct me to read.
Honorable Soro, for as long as he's not a member of this Senate, can participate the same way your other members have been able to make contribution in the court proceedings.
Tonight.
Mambo ni kama hayo. Nakwambia Sifuna na tesa atesi, sijui wewe unaona masuala haya. Anaambiwa amwonyeshe mwenye sheria kule sheria ipo na vile sheria inasema. Interesting times that the Speaker of the Senate says is not versed with the close of the discussion, but tutazungumza. Asante kwa kila mmoja. Naomba tafadhali usikae mbali, tuangazie masuala haya kwa kina. Songa karibu, karibisha mtu. 32 people viewing. We need more than that. We always get more than that. Naomba tafadhali makinika, karibisha mtu, kumbusha mtu kipindi kimeanza, usikue na yeyote atakayesalia nyuma. Ningependa tuanze na hiyo story ya my son is innocent, na kama vile nilikuwa nawaambia, R.W. Shambak alikuwa anatuambia mama ana njia ya kujua wakati mwanawe anadanganya ama anasema ukweli. Hiyo njia yajulikana tu kwa kina mama, na wengi wenu hapa ambao ni kina mama mnaweza kutoa ushuhuda kwa masuala haya. So kulingana na mama ya Jowie anasema haya mambo yote mmesema yanaweza kuwa yanalenga sehemu fulani, lakini ukweli wake bado hauridhishi. Ukweli wake bado una dosari. Sijui unaonaje mambo haya? Ningependa kujua msimamo wako kwa mambo haya. Asante watu wa TikTok, tujitahidi karibisha mtu pia, like video, participate fully. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, if you want to participate into the discussion, you will need to use the link in the bio to bring you into the live studio right here. You can't join directly from TikTok because it will have a conflict with the sound here, and therefore we may not be able to communicate as we ought. Asante sana. Let's listen out to this even as we start the conversation.
As you all know, this is Jowie's mother, and before anybody else, and being a mother, I think we give her a chance to say something because of the relationship that mothers have with their sons. So, kindly, mom, if you can, just a short word.
Me, I believe my son is innocent. Na hajafanya kazi yoyote, kosa yoyote, hajaua. Kuna kitu ninaamini, kuna a God of a second chance, na atamtoa. Na ndio unaona niko na nguvu, sababu Mungu mwenye ninaamini ndiye atamtoa. He is like Joseph. Joseph alidhulumiwa hivi na Mungu baadaye alimtoa. Na hata ninaamini sasa atamtoa wakati wa Mungu ukifika. Ni hayo tu.
Asante. We won't say much. Of course, the sentence has been passed. We were expecting something close. We are not shocked. And let me whet your appetite. I think all of you remember those words. Those are not my words. Those are the words of the Honorable Lady Justice Nzioka when she was passing the sentence on Jowie. We all remember those words. Let me whet your appetite. We affirm in our belief that during this whole process, the Honorable Lady Justice, with respect, was playing to the gallery and aiming at placating the courts of the public. And this is why we are adamant in our belief that that judgment delivered in court, completely and substantially different from the written judgment, because it was made to placate the public. Jowie is innocent, and at the Court of Appeal, we will be vindicated. The notice of appeal is ready. We're just waiting for a little time to maybe further discuss before we proceed. But one thing is clear. The Honorable Justice built a mountain out of the clothes that Jowie wore, especially those brown khaki shorts. She had to build a mountain on those shorts. Why? Because those are the only things that she had that would link Jowie to the death of Monica Kimani. Purportedly because a drop of blood was found with Monica's DNA on those shorts. That was the only link, apart from all the rubbish circumstantial evidence. That was the only link that this court had to lay its case on. But then, were those the same shorts that Jowie wore? The defense was adamant that those shorts which were exhibited in court were not the same shorts that Jowie wore. The prosecution's own witness said that the shorts that Jowie had on had side pockets and were brown khaki. The shorts that were brought into court purportedly with DNA did not have side pockets. These were different shots. On 3 occasions, when Justice Wakiaga was handling the matter, he asked the prosecution to bring evidence of the pictures of the shots that they took while they picked those shots from Jackie Maribe's house. The pictures that were taken with Jowie holding onto the shots, clearly showing the side pockets. 3 times, the prosecution refused to bring those shots, those pictures into evidence. 3 times. Why? During his evidence, the DNA expert claimed that he took pictures of those shots through the whole process. But when asked to bring the pictures of those shots to court, again, refused. Why? It is rather obvious. Our courts have always held that where the prosecution refuses to bring evidence before court in their own possession, which might prove to be exculpatory evidence, there can only be one reason why they have refused to bring that evidence: because it points to the innocence of the accused. Jowie Joseph Irungu is innocent, and we shall prove it. Thank you.
Haya, hivyo ndio mambo yalivyo kulingana na hii kesi ambayo ni nyeti. Huyo ni lawyer akichambua masuala ya hakimu na uamuzi wake na masuala ya evidence that was adduced to court, the evidence that was asked for that was not delivered to court. And like I'm saying, seems to be a long story that may not be ending anywhere near here. But I still believe it's important that we don't hang people simply because of circumstantial evidences. There has to be more convincing proof that this particular person committed the crime and is capable of committing such a crime. He has a history of that kind of capability, because we cannot give rulings just for the sake of ruling. And so as judges and as ministers of justice, I think we need to demand more than what is being adduced. And I think we have all the time to listen to any evidence that is anywhere. And so I really would want justice to prevail in this, justice for Monica Kimani and justice for Jowie, not for it to be in this kind of confusing arrangement. This is too much. I think for us moving forward as a country, I'm talking generally, especially when it comes to administering justice, we need to not just to deal justly, but to be seen to deal justly. And to be seen to deal justly is block by block. Listening to that judge today and the way she was prosecuting her ruling, I got a feeling that Joe is being sentenced for every man that has ever killed a woman. Because there were stories fetched from the newspaper, others fetched from international digital news and things like that. But I think for us to really specifically say this is Monica Kimani's killer, we need to be able to tie that person to that particular action convincingly, both with evidence and both in the eyes of the public. I think we are not doing well as far as this kind of cases are being handled. Na sitaki kupreempt maneno, wewe njoo hapo tuambie kama unaona judge amefanya kazi mzuri, prosecution ilifanya kazi mzuri, they are hanging the right man, no problem. We will want to hear you. But from where I sit, I have my reservations. And I think we are not giving this case the required judgment. And I think the killers of Monica Kimani are still out there. And it will be very sad. It will be very sad that we are protecting a criminal and we want to hang an innocent person. That's unacceptable. I think we need better handling of this kind of cases. Well, doctors are going on strike in less than 30 minutes from wherever you are. We need to know what is your take on it. Gideon Etsimile anasema about health, I'm looking forward to hear good news from our doctors that they have cancelled the strike. That one you will need to apply to Nahumicha, your sister. Tell Nahumicha, your sister, to meet the demands of the doctors. If you want doctors back on the desk. Failure to that, mimi naona hapa kuna game ingine inachezwa ambayo haieleweki. Cha muhimu ni nafasi ya wewe kuchangia kwa masuala haya. Zungumza wazi tukaelewane. Hii ni Kenya na hii Kenya lazima tuirekebishe. Mambo mengi yanakwenda mrama na lazima tusimame kwenye zamu kuhakikisha kwamba kila kitu kinarudi kwa nafasi yake. Kutokana kwa justice both to the guilty, to those deemed guilty and those deemed innocent. And then of course, our healthcare system is in problems. We cannot, I don't know. And from the look of things, I think we need another minister for health without implicating anybody. Asante. Namwona Mr. Guru. Bwana Guru, vipi?
Mzuri Bernard.
Karibu. Naona washajifunika mapema, unajua madaktari wako.
Kitaumana kesho. Things will be very thick. You know, we've not treated our medical staff very well since we devolved the units. It's unfortunate that doctors are even discriminated along ethnic lines in some counties. They are given salaries that are not commensurate with those of their colleagues who come from the certain county. That is very depressing, and I think it is right that the Health Commission that they were demanding be established, so that just like TSC, to look into the welfare of the doctors across the country, regardless of which country you come from, because that's the only thing that can remove some of these discriminations. I think there are things that went wrong with our devolution, and one of them is how to handle the human resource, especially technical people like doctors. And some treat them as a political, tool. They give and take according to the politics of the area. A very sad affair, because the public ends up suffering lack of expertise. That as it may, I think they have a right to press for their interests. Of course, there are those who will suffer in the process, but you can also imagine, Bernard, in a country where we now hear that 50 useless CAS positions are just about to be created, against the background of young people who have sacrificed their life for over 7 years in the university, who do not even have a livelihood. It's unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Now, coming to this case of today, I think I hold the same view like the one you hold. I think there are very many gray areas in this case. We were told that there are several people who visited the room or the house where this raid was. We never heard what Bernard, it is easy for somebody to set up others. And 10 minutes are enough to set up a situation and review holding the skunk. You know, this boy is a young boy. I understand when he got to the house, I think they knew each other with this lady. He started taking some beverages, which could have been a bit of spirits and, you know, those kind of things. So you can also imagine his mental status, which could have compromised his being careful that he could be taken advantage of. You know, there's also the murky side of this girl, saying that she was being used by some very, very powerful people in those southern Sudan to siphon dollars from that country. And obviously, where money is involved, you find there is rivalry. How sure are you that she did not fall victim of these forces? And then a situation had to be found to fix the lady. Because you see, even as that judgment was being read, there is no motive that was brought forth. And you know, in every murder case, one of the things that that is supreme in the murder cases is the motive. Is it that he wanted to steal money? Is it that he had been hired as a hitman? Is it that they had a love affair that went bad? There are so many things that are gray there, and unfortunately, the prosecution did not seem to have brought out exactly what the motive could have been if this is the boy who did what he did. So it's a case that I believe, if well handled, this young man could find his way out. Because you see, one thing that is possible with young people is that when you find yourself in situations like this, you panic and you start setting up things to get out of situations like this, while you are not the one who did it. We are also told that he made calls to some people together with his then girlfriend. We were never told what the calls were about. And those could form perhaps the basis on which to understand the circumstance of what happened. You know, this is a young man who seemed to have been perhaps double dealing. He had two girlfriends. And you know, Bernard, when you have to cheat on one woman and another, you have to use camouflage. So the fact that he could have used an ID that is not his could have been part of the script to hide himself from possibly being caught by the other girlfriend. So there are so many things here that do not add up, and they can only be proved by serious investigators and who are serious enough to dig into the forensics and even praise people where they were at what time. And because the house was visited by several people, not just that one, maybe even more, you never know, then that itself is a gray area. that should have been explored. That some of those who came into that house had other motives rather than this young man. He could just have found himself trapped in a situation he could not easily go out. Or perhaps, you never know, he is under very strong forces that he may not even find it easy to speak. You know, there are so many things here that are not adding up. But anyway, time will tell what things come out of this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Guru. A good start indeed, and we are concerned. We are concerned. Our justice system needs to up the game. We cannot use this level of evidence going about cases that will want to terminate somebody's life on grounds that are not clear. I can see Carol here says Joey is guilty as charged. Why did he shoot himself and burn clothes? Well, we want to have that proven in the court of law. There must be, in my understanding, okay, I speak like a preacher. If I want to convict you for violating the scripture, I will need to bring enough scriptures to prove that the way you framed this scripture does not line with this and this and this. That's all we wanted the prosecution to prove. That many people entered the house, yes, but the killer is this one because this and this points on this one. You cannot tell us many people came in, but this one is the one who did. How? What was the motive, like Mr. Guru is saying? What was he after? What did Monica Kimani had that Joey wanted that probably led into that, him being killed? And after killing Monica, what did Joey get? Okay, because you only resort into killing somebody because you want to get that something and you have gotten the thing. So what is it that Joey got from Monica after he killed her, like it is being claimed? Naona Secretary General amefika, tufanye roll call ya chama kwanza. SG, namna gani siku mingi?
Niko poa, sijui kwa nini uko unasikika ukiwa chini.
Hapana, wewe ndio umeingia shimoni. Tangu uanze kwenda Mount Kenya ukuambia Gachagua muda wake umeisha.
Najua Gachagua si mtu yetu, ni mtu ya kuletwa. He's half caste. He's half Nandi and half Kukuyu. So ni mtu tunapenda tu.
Kwetu wanasema
Sisi, unajua uzuri
kwetu wanasema mtoto alikujia kwa mgongo ya mama.
Na mtoto ni wa Mungu. Mtoto akikuja mnalea. So sisi wa Kikuyu tunashukuru Mungu kwa sababu tumesaidika sana. Hata Waluya wamekuwa watu generous kwa sababu unajua vijana wetu wengi wamepotolea kwa hii pombe haramu. So nguvu.
Wewe rudi kwa chama, rudi kwa chama, wacha kwenda
nguvu. Okay, sawa. Thank you. That was just by the way. Sasa wacha tupige siasa. Sasa Joey, I think I will just describe him as a stupid young man. Because how do you go to the grave with the truth? Nimeona rafiki yake mmoja ameweka kwa Twitter akasema, si waambie watu tu ukweli, wacha kudanganywa na hao watu ati ya kwamba watakusaidia. Watakusaidia aje? The wheel of justice are turning, and when they turn, you are on your own. Yeah? He should throw the spanner into the works. Ama hujaisikia kitu kama hiyo? Wazungu wanasemanga umetengeneza works vizuri nini alafu unauza spanner huko. Watu wanasema turudie hii mambo. So basically what I'm trying to say in a simplified language for those who do not understand is that, as Guru says, there is much that meets the eye. Because one of the things we know as the people of Kenya is that this lady was in a relationship with a particular individual in the government of the Southern Sudan. And it is believed with what we know, because it is something that we have been following as a people of Kenya, that this relationship was was, you know what happens in Africa, hata unaishi huku, yeah, you know what ministers can access, and particularly if you are in a country like Sudan, ministers are the people who access gold, they access dollars, they access minerals. So there was a lot of money involved here. In fact, without fear of contradiction, I'm sure that the people who did this, they wanted something that she had, and they didn't want any witness. So Joey, from what I see, is just a sacrificial lamb, so that people can disappear without trace and live large with a lot of money around. So from where I stand, I'll tell Joey this: ni vile siwezi mpata, acha kuwa mjinga, don't be stupid. Tell people what happened. You are maybe used so that you cover up the story, but the question of these monies, of these golds, yeah, where they went, who carried them, yeah, we need to know the truth, because that is where the truth is. So in life, there are people who are called collateral damage. There are people who are called guinea pigs. Yeah, there are people, and it is normal. Like for example, Kenyans, wale wanapelekwa Haiti, they are just guinea pigs. Eh? Try and error, you know. But the person who is sending them cannot even get near there. In fact, I'm told today, this will shock you because it is something that is happening in Kenya, that even the Bill Gates and the foundation and many other American scientists, they pay Kenyans to try drugs first before they sell them to the world. And therefore, these are things that happen, and it is unfortunate if you are an individual who can be used to clear other people. So from where I stand, I feel for this young man. But if I was him, even I wouldn't have a lawyer. I'll go to that court and tell media, listen and listen carefully. And listen, I'm not gonna miss my words. Say me, I was dating this woman called Monica, incognito, because we know what happens with this relationship. And I was also dating this other lady from the media. Number two, mine was life, yeah. And then I got mixed up. I was in the crime scene, but the truth of the matter, I was not in the crime scene because I am the one who committed the crime. I was in the crime scene because I was strapped to be in the crime scene. Or I went to rescue my girl who texted me and told me I'm in trouble. Come help me. You know, you can always get away with this. We do not know exactly what I'm just saying is just theoretical. But for me, from where I see, there is more than meets the eye. And I pity that family, because poverty in Kenya is a crime. Poor people can never get justice in this country. And the reason we come to these shows, it is because, like Martin Luther said, we have a dream that one day we'll see a country where justice is for all. That we have a dream that will that every Kenyan will have his equitable share. That when we wake up in the morning, despite working hard for hours, whatever you are supposed to earn, you will earn it. It will not go with one individual or 2, 3, 4 individuals who will build houses in Dubai, in Paris, but each and every woman who wakes up to sell mamamboga, to sell jugu, will go home and be able to pay school fees and be able to pay rent and be able to do basic things. But what we have today, and it is a pity, because that is why sometimes in our closets we cry. It is people who wake up at 3, go home at 4, or go home at 6 or 8, and they don't have bread in their house. They don't have food for their family. They cannot take their children to school. The other day I was in KU hospital because I lost a friend. And I also almost cried. In fact, let me put it this way: I cried because if you go to the cancer center in KU, you really feel for this country. We have gone back to whereby people are begging to be treated. We have gone back to where it doesn't matter. Your health doesn't matter as long as you are not important in this country. And therefore, people are struggling to get medication there. There's 2 huge lines. NHIF that we were promised, and this new Nakumicha Nini is promising free medical or emergency care for these people, but the truth of the matter, there is no criteria of identifying them and helping them in this country. We even don't know how many people are in this chronic disease bracket. But we have big words that are being mentioned by this government. At the same time, we know that yesterday a Kenyan was arrested in Nigeria, transporting trillions of dollars. And it was believed that he had money enough for a whole budget here for Kenya. And so when you see these kind of things, Bwana Bernard, you ask yourself and question, where is God? Can God have instant punishment for these people, surely? Because we are really struggling out here, and some individuals who are not mentioned here because sometimes we mention and we get threatened. That's why we keep disappearing. Are building houses that they cannot. The appetite of stealing public funds is too huge. Like a member of where I live in a place called Rongiri. Yeah, it is near Kikuyu, it's a Kikuyu constituency. A member of parliament from there is building houses without even looking at the ratio of a cement. You know, beautiful big bungalows, flats. And you ask yourself, is this the same person who was selling us Mutura in 2013 because he had a butchery here? All of a sudden, miraculously, he is a billionaire. Yeah, we hear stories of ADC land being grabbed by very powerful people. Yeah, an ADC land that we know that the person who owned it did not have documents to prove he owns it, and therefore it is a myriad of problems, a myriad of confusion, and yet the people who suffer the most are the people singing the song Hosanna, Hosanna. Raisi wetu ameokoka, ameita Benihin. We have a born again Christian, a born again president. Yes, but a week after Benihin, he has stolen a land that belongs to African development. Ilikuwa inaitwa African something ADC. I don't know the meaning. A born again president. Rais ambaye amejaa na Roho Mtakatifu. So ni madodo tunaongea kidogo. Siasa lazima tupige. Tukufe tusikufe.
Ni mtakatifu, sio mtakatifu. Wewe acha kuchanganya.
Yes,
Okay,
asante.
Thank you, SG, for that good observation. And it's sad that the more things change, the more things remain the same. But what we're experiencing right now under the Kenya Kwanza administration is a sad state of affairs. There are things we had overcome under Kibaki, we had overcome under Uhuru Kenyatta. Why we are back there is what remains a mystery. I had a cancer patient during partly time for Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay, and that KU Cancer Center was there. I was in the Texas Cancer Center all along, and we didn't have this much challenges. We were given an appointment, we made the appointment, saw the doctor, got the drugs, And we didn't have all these issues of people begging or people bribing in order for them to get medication. But what's happening in this country is that it appears like there is a script to impoverish the people, a script to make sure that systems fail. And I don't see why a government should fight so hard to make sure that systems fail. I don't get it. But let's engage and see. Guru, ulikuwa na la kuongezea hapo kabla tumlete DeFi amerejea.
And I think I support SG. There is more than meets the eye in this case. And maybe this young man is in a situation where he may not speak out because the forces could be too strong. He is at the center of rock and deep blue sea. So he can, either way, he's damned. If he speaks, he's damned. If he doesn't, he's damned. And like SG has said, there must be a very strong motive. This girl did not just get herself killed. There are people who had interest. And if you look at her history, it is about money. This could even be an international crime, you know, with some local actors. So it is not a very easy thing, especially for a young man like that one, and his family that is not very well off. So you just have to face the consequences. On the institutions, I don't know why everything seems to have gone haywire. Passports, I sometimes lost my ID and got it within 2 weeks. Now I understand it's not the case today. Passports are another story. Hospitals, like SG has said, another place where things seem to have gone bad. Look at the education system. Bernard, for the first time since the time of Moi, now people have started going back to those practice of asking villagers to come for tea, to contribute some money for a child who is going to the university. Things that we forgot many years ago. It's unfortunate. But then again, when you look at the kind of thing that is happening, the Harambee thing is coming out very strongly now. Again, we are back to the Nyayo days. In fact, Kibaki detested Harambees so much that CDF and other government funds were put in place so that these things could be taken care of. But you can see a deliberate plan to use money to kind of brainwash people, okay, in a manner that those holding money are the most important people as leaders. It is the same script that Mo used some time back, and it is back again now in Kenya. It's unfortunate that we are reliving a period that was very painful again. But then the young people, when we were telling them these things, they thought it was a joke. Let them also experience a bit of what we went through, so that they can know that we are not merely talking for the sake of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Guru. We appreciate it. And you say that Joey could be between the rock and the hard place in the blue sea. I think after the death sentence, there's no dangerous man like the man who has nothing to lose. I think if there are some beans to be spilled, should be spilled now, because the sentence has already been given. Your next is to, as much as you are seeking redress through the Court of Appeal, this sentence could be upheld and you're going to face the hangman. So why should you continue protecting people when they are definitely using you as collateral? I think with the current state of affairs in terms of technological advancement, let the beans be spilled. I think we cannot make a mockery of justice system when it comes to the murder of innocent people. We are still, look the way they treated Msando. Msando is murdered, and then they go and catch one house girl somewhere that the phone number that called him was one for a house girl in Siaya. I mean, we trivialize serious matters, and we look like we don't have a government, or the government just doesn't want to do what it should do. This is something that you can get seriously who killed who and why, other than looking for an scapegoat and then, you know, sentencing a wrong person, leaving the robber out there, leaving the killer up there. Look at the kind of current state of affairs where our girls are dying almost every day in the hands of men, in the Airbnbs and hotels and other places. All this is happening because we are letting the criminals loose as we hang innocent people. So why should we encourage the same? And the judges, those of you who are charged with the responsibility for justice, please, can you do the right thing for once? This country deserves better than what you people are offering us. Hata kama unalipwa pesa, ushaenda mazishi ukaona mtu anazikwa na pesa, na hata akizikwa na pesa atatumia hizo pesa. Let's save the country. Let's not destroy everything in the name of we have been paid to. It's annoying to say the least. Namuona Defy amekuja. Defy vipi? Siku mingi ulienda wapi?
Bena mimi niko na kuonaga sana sana kwa huwa nafuatilia show, pia naona we have very close friends kwa TikTok, bado tunasukuma mjadala on all angles. Na Mungu atatusaidia. Hata nikuje kwa mada.
Karibu.
Bena, today is the first day I cried before my daughter, and I sijui kwa nini my daughter was just here when that judgment was given, and I found myself shedding tears because after I listened the judgment from this judge, kusema tu kweli, even if I did not go a law school, sikuona kesi ya mada hapo, kwa sababu this judge alikuwa na rely na other matters, not Joy, because yes, we regret losing Monica, and it was a bad it was a terrible murder. We know that. Describing that does not mean that this man killed the lady. And again, just ukiangalia judgment venye tu alisema eti Joy himself never accepted, ajai kubali kwamba aliua. Na the first thing ukipeleka kwa koti unaulizwa unakubali ama unakataa. Yeah, ukikataa, judge has to dig deeper. We expected a very deep evidence so that tukuwe hata sisi certified. Yeah, so sisi from Nakuru here as men tuliona huyo mama kabisa ni kama alikuwa na kabif against men, because now ametaja, yes, it's sudden that we have lost so many ladies, but does not mean sasa huyu Joy abebe mzigo ya watu wote, you see. And again here I blame the investigators, because wezi niambia kusema tu kweli eti out of nowhere hakuna hata video, because me I expect as a murder, if I'm convicted of a murder, at least show people the video that this guy alicommit, this is a clear thing. But just going around the bush, then you say I'm convicting this guy for unataka nini hiyo kumuua, manze, I cried for real, yeah. And that was not justice. You see, he relied on one family, and left the other family hanging. Yes, no, and here it leaves many questions, because here from the background of Joy, we understand this is a background of poor family. From Monica is a very wealthy connected family, yeah. So ni kumaanisha hapa ama hii Kenya, kama wewe ni maskini hauna pesa, you can never get justice, you can never be heard, yeah. And again, Bernard, If you ask me if I know somebody and you realize that truly I know that person, that one does not mean that I killed. You know, killing is a very serious murder. Yeah. If I said out of my ignorance that I did not know her, then you go and search and say I knew her, does not mean that I killed that person. Maybe I was confused. Yeah. And again, I expected that learned judge to ask even other questions. For example, she mentioned that this lady has lost a family business in Sudan. The question is, what business? What kind of a business? Yeah, because she described very well how Joy went to join training in Dubai. Yeye described vizuri sana. But in the other side, she never told us the kind of the business this lady was doing in Sudan. And hiyo ingeleta justice, ingeleta connecting of events. Yeah. And again, you cannot tell me out of all these things, investigators could not even find a tangible that because I was arguing with someone and anasema ati the blood ilikuwa soaked. Blood is not a measure of killing. Eh? Blood inaweza kuwa hata ya nguruwe, inaweza kuwa hata ya ng'ombe. Blood is not a measure that I have killed someone. Yeah? What if I was going to try to save the life of that person, the same killed person? Yeah? What if? Yeah, I'm just saying what if. Then you find myself with blood. That does not mean having blood in my hand does not mean I killed that, I committed the murder. Yeah. So for me, today is a very sad day for men or a boy child, if I would say so. And Bernard, this country, I can tell you for sure, we are done. If this is the kind of the judgment that the whole country is waiting to hear, and this lady comes with a very long story, long story, but she knows where she's heading without showing us, because you cannot mention all those things without giving us one incident or something that shows truly this man killed this lady. Yeah, because when you say ati tumeona mwili, the body was badly murdered. Yes, we know that, but it does not mean this man committed that. When you say the family is in grief and have suffered about financial reward, yes, we know that, but that does not mean this is the man who committed that. Yeah. When you say that the father or the mother, yeah, had requested that the judgment should be murder, yeah, that does not mean that this man, yeah. So Bernard, I want to rest my case there, but today I can tell you, I cried, I shed tears for the first time as a man. Mina samaga stay here, but today I don't know why, because it touched me deeply. Yeah. It means that tomorrow someone I'll be put somewhere and my car will be put something inside. Then I'll go to court and then they will use that against me, saying that why did it find it? Why was it here? Yeah. So for me, what I can say is that this joy was just found in a wrong place at the wrong time, and maybe something was done to him. And let me rest my case, Brendan. Yeah, but I'm very sad.
Thank you so much, Defy, for weighing on that. Sad indeed, I agree with you. And good questions there. Family business. You know, when I was in high school, I lived with a family and we had a kiosk along Lagos Road at the Akamba bus station. And every weekend, we would go there to help into the family business. That's what the family business is. We would tell you if the shopkeeper is not around, the boys will go and take care of the sales and then, of course, keep the accounts. What is this family business that was done by Monica Kimani and Monica Kimani alone? And when Monica Kimani is no more, the business is also no more. What is this called family business? Judge needed to prove and tell us that. And then, of course, the way they talking about the mother had a stroke and the family business has collapsed. And so Jowie must be sentenced harshly on the same thing. To me, that judge leaves a lot to be desired. I believe a case of murder needs to be proven beyond shadow of doubt, not circumstantial. It needs to prove to, and then also because does he have a history of killing? Has he ever killed people? Has he ever killed animals? Does he have that history? Is there any proof? Even when a serial killer is caught, we had the serial killer in Bungoma and the other one in Kisii. Wanapelekwanga for mental checkup so that this is psychiatric wherever doctors can assess the person and say this man is capable of doing this, or he's doing this because he's mentally challenged. Is there any proof that proves that Jowie is capable of cutting somebody's throat and cut it over and over and over and over? Does it look like that? Does he have a history of that? Did he ever do that in primary school? Did he ever attempt to kill somebody in high school? Did he ever attempt to kill somebody in Kenya Polytechnic? Why should we place this on his doorstep? Ninyi wafanyikazi wa kutafuta haki, hii ni haki? Hata hii sio ungwana, wacha haki. Mimi sioni ungwana hapa, kwa sababu ni kuchezea Wakenya akili. Kama kesi haiko, sema haiko. Kama bado mnatafuta mwizi, tafuteni mwizi, lakini msijaribu kuua mtoto wa wenyewe kwa sababu mnalinda mtoto wa mwingine. Huyo jambazi mnailinda, huyo ndio atawamaliza. Because you can't let go the guilty and then prosecute whatever sentence the wrong person. I think this case needs to be reopened. We need better investigation. We need better proof, not the stories that we are being treated to. Asil to TV anasema Bernard Jowie was in Afghanistan killing people. Huh? Those are new evidence, eh? Kweli. That's a new one. I'm not privy to that. But if you have that, let us have the video. Let's have the evidence. But to me, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I will stick by the mother. This guy is innocent. He just got himself in wrong places. Because what was the motive? What was the motive in the first place? Were they fighting over the money? Did he go there to pick the money? Did he get the money? Mtani convince otherwise. Asanteni sana, naomba tafadhali tumakinike. Karibisha mtu, alafu acha niangalie vile voting inaendelea. Hapa ni Sound Candy Talk Live. Kuna 13 votes already cast. The question you're asking is, do you believe that Jowie is guilty of the murder of Monica Kimani? 31% say yes, 69% say no of the 13 people who have participated into the poll. Let's look on this other side. Okay, let me refresh so that I get the accurate number of those who have participated into the poll. And please, while we are checking, make sure you invite somebody. Let's engage. Time is running out. Let's not wait until it's late. Ndio tuanze kushinikiza kuingia studio kama tumechelewa. Naomba tuingie mapema tukaseme ya kwetu kabla wa muda uyoyome. Do you believe Jowie is guilty of the murder of Monica Kimani? Hapa 58 people have cast their vote. 43% say yes, 57% say no. So the majority of the people feel that Jowie is innocent. I don't know what is your take on the same. Please, let's engage, let's talk, let's do what we must do. Thank you. Okay, John Dita anasema, I know who looks like that and has killed many people before including Musando. Haya, mambo ni kama haya. Turudi kwa Mr. Guru, tusaidie katika masuala haya. Mtu akiua watu anakaaga kama mtu wa kawaida.
You know, me, I know if this case was somewhere in America or Britain, it would have been very hard to secure a conviction, because a case as serious as this must be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. The first thing is the motive. What was the motive? Is it money? Is it a love affair? What was it? That was never brought out in this case. So how do you commit murder without a motive? I still believe if this case is handled well, even in the appeal, it's likely that this young man can get free, because circumstantial evidence is not enough to convict somebody. In any case, there are those who have argued that the manner in which this matter was, the gruesome murder was done, does not indicate that one person was involved. Does it mean that really did not have some energy to fight, cause commotion, and she was in an apartment? I mean, slitting somebody's throat is not a joke. I don't know how that can happen without the other person putting up quite some fight. And this is a apartment that, and also guns. Ndikuwa na watchmen. So it is a very suspicious thing, this one. It's something that we, maybe with time, we will get to know the very different story from the one that we know now, or the one that is being fronted by some people. Because there are gray areas. And knowing how our social life is, especially for the youth, this matter could be bigger than expected. Is it a business deal that went bad? Was this young man in a group of others and was fixed because maybe his part of a bargain was not met, or they just wanted to cut him off from the whole deal? You know, there are so many things here that, and more so suspiciously is the fact that that room was, or the house was visited by several people that night. So what was the role of the other men? Because I never heard of a woman. What was the role of the other men who visited there? Were they investigated? So for me, I think it is not conclusive. It's not a conclusive case.
Thank you, Mr. Guru. It's an interesting developing story. In my understanding, it's either somebody has been paid to look the other side. That's most likely, because from the situation and the story, I don't have all the details, but it appears these people are going out. John Dita here nauliza, who is Jackie's baby daddy? From the look of things, Joey was going out with Jackie. They had a date, okay? So it's like somebody called him to interrupt. He had plans to go out with Jackie, and then he's given a call to go to Monica's place. If that is the case, I'm just giving an hypothesis. It could be a distress call, whereby a distress call, and so you tell your girlfriend, ngoja kwanza, there is this matter, wacha nikimbie niende kushughulikia narudi, so that we can go for our date. Then it was just, if it's a distress call or something like that, then he goes to address it. Probably the killers finished whatever they were doing, then put the call Then this boy enters into the trap where he finds the girl is already murdered and all that. It is a high probability of that happening. And then if there were other people that got in, who are these people? Where are they? Have they been questioned? What did they say? According to the wherever, what is it called? The autopsy. When did Monica die? Okay, at what point? By that time, where was Jowie? Okay, was he still with Jackie? Was he on the way, or was he in the house? All those details can join together. Let's say he received the call at let's say at 4, okay, and the person died at 7. What was the distance between where Jowie was and where Monica lived? And how long does it take for a person to travel at this point to this other point? To me, I think the investigation is not, it's not given the seriousness that it deserves because it is preconceived, preset. Preset mean hii kesi tunaenda kusikiliza na lazima tupate hii nini outcome. And so no matter which angle it goes, we must end up like this. And this has been our culture with our election. I'll be playing a video by Kumekucha on how our elections are done and rigged ahead of time before they ever happen, and they are all said to happen a particular way. That will be our conclusion. It's a lengthy analysis. I'll be playing that towards the tail end of the discussion. But before that, let's just play out this before DeFi can weigh on this. Let's play the video so that we get everything in its proper perspective. Lakini hii story ya kusema because he was going out with Jackie Maribe, therefore he eliminated Monica, to me doesn't add up. You don't kill your exes because you have found a new girlfriend. That should not even feature.
Mahakama Kuu hii leo imemhukumu kifo Joseph Jowie Irungu kwa hatia ya mauaji ya mfanyabiashara Monica Kimani yaliyotokea mwaka 2018. Jaji Grace Nzioka kwenye uamuzi wake ameelezea kwa mapana sababu zake za kumhukumu Jowie kifo, akisema kuwa mauaji ya Monica yalikuwa ya kutisha na yalopangwa na kukusudiwa. Ben Kirui anaarifu zaidi kuhusu uamuzi huu ulioibua mdahalo mpya kuhusu hukumu ya kifo hapa nchini.
Wakati wa kutolewa kwa hukumu hiyo katika mahakama ya Milimani, hakimu Grace Nzioka alibainisha kuwa upande wa mashtaka ulitoa ushahidi wa kutosha na kisha kuomba mahakama kutoa hukumu ya kifo dhidi ya Joseph Irungu kwa madhara yaliyosababishia familia ya Monica Kimani. Ushahidi uliotolewa na upande wa mashtaka ukiwa ni pamoja na silaha iliyotumika katika mauaji, jinsi Jowie alivyofika nyumbani kwa Monica mtaani Lamuria Gardens, na baadaye jaribio la kuficha ushahidi baada ya kutekeleza mauaji hayo.
I want to remind ourselves of the judgment I delivered on 9th of February, where I indicated clearly that the evidence of the doctor who conducted the post-mortem report indicated that the person who perpetrated this offense cut the throat of the deceased through and through. In that judgment, I spoke to an understanding that the person was not an amateur. The person must have had some training. And remember, the evidence even revealed that after the offense was committed, the deceased was put in the bathtub and the shower tap was put over to run the blood off.
Mapendekezo ya afisa wa kurekebisha tabia yalikuwa Jowie apokee hukumu ya juu zaidi, akisema hakuwa mtu mwenye msimamo katika uhusiano na wenzake. Alitumia hasira kuwashinikiza wengine kufanya kile anachotaka na tabia isiyofaa katika jamii.
He describes the accused criminogenic risk factors as follows: that he lacks stable partner relationships. He has antisocial personality patterns manifested by living on the edge. He is impulsive and a thrill seeker. He uses anger or aggression to control others. And finally, he says that the accused has a double personality trait.
Hukumu hii ya mauaji ya Monica Kimani inatolewa wakati ambapo kumekuwa na maswali mengi kuhusu visa vya mauaji ya wanawake kama ile ya Rita Waeni, Nzioka akisema ni kwa sababu hiyo jamii inatarajia mahakama kuchukua hatua.
To the court being live to the happenings in the society at a given time. And my mind as a court, my understanding, my reading is that in recent past there have been numerous reports of senseless murders targeting persons of female gender. Let this not just be my words from where I sit. In an article dated the 26th January 2024, Amnesty International Kenya noted that a woman is killed in this country in every 2 days.
Akitoa hukumu, Jaji Nzioka alisema jinsi mauaji yalivyotekelezwa ilikuwa dhahiri kuwa mshukiwa hakuwa na nia yoyote ya kumpa marehemu hata dakika moja ya kuishi. Akisema mauaji hayo yalipangwa, yalikusudiwa na kisha kutekelezwa.
The first accused person before this court being Joseph Kuria Irungu alias Jowie. Shall suffer death as provided for the offense of murder under section 204 of the Penal Code of Kenya.
Hukumu ya kifo kwa Joseph Irungu wakati wa tamati ya kesi hiyo ambayo imechukua miaka 6 inaleta kiwango cha afueni kwa familia ya Monica Kimani ambayo sasa inaanza safari ya kutafuta kufunga ukurasa mgumu wa kupoteza mpendwa wao. Ben Kirui, runinga ya Citizen, Nairobi.
You hear that from the horse's mouth? That's how the judge looked at the whole scenario, or rather partly, and led to that particular pronouncement. But I'm still not convinced. If you think otherwise, convince me otherwise. But this is playing around with a serious case. This is a very serious case. It needs better outlook. Not, she said very well, the person who carried out the killing cut the throat of the victim through and through. But he never said that person was Jowie. It never proves that that person was Jowie. Does Jowie look like a person who can step on another person and cut their throat through and through? And when that is happening, I don't know, except the person is dragged or the person is paralyzed, because there is no way you can be alone and you cut the throat of another person through and through, and there's no commotion, the neighbors don't hear anything, the watchmen don't notice anything, and then you move out. Hey, Kenyans, hata kama mmeanza hii film mliambiwa Hollywood imekuja, mimi hapa mtanipiga mawe tu, lakini sioni kuna kitu hapa ambacho hatuambiwi, na hii kesi kwangu mimi ichunguzwe tena, wahusika wafungwe. Tutaacha wasichana wetu kufa bure kwa mikono ya wahalifu wakati tunafunga wale watu wasiofaa. Let the truth prevail, let justice prevail, and that justice should be justice for all. Thank you. Defy, you can weigh on that as we continue.
Yeah, Bena, you see, that judge will go in the history of Kenya as a judge who disappointed very many people. Because there's something that caught my attention, Bena. Because in the judgment, kuna mala alisema eti haizi funga Joey kwa muda fulani kwa sababu Joey hajakubali kwamba aliua. You see, that's a contradiction. And that one caught my attention because watu wengi sana wako jela because wamekuwa wakifosiwa wakubali makosa yenye wakufanya. Does it mean that if Joey angekubali, that one judgment ingekuwa less? Does that mean that kukataa kesi ni makosa in this country? Because if I have not committed something, why are you forcing me? It's my right, you see? So that one caught my attention. Kwa nini alisema eti haezi funga huyo mtu miaka fulani kwa sababu hakukubali kesi, hakukubali alicommit hiyo mada? Then the question comes, mbona alimwekea hukumu ya kifo na mwenyewe hakukubali kwamba alicommit hiyo mada? Something else, unaona huyo madam alionyesha picha ya kwamba it's like going to train in a military way is a bad thing, you see, because the judgment was part of it that Joey is a trained security personnel and he trained in Dubai, and it's because of that the judge said that Monica, the way she was murdered, it looks like a trained person. Yeah, so it means because Joey is a trained military personnel, now he is the one. How many people in this country are trained personnel, even with other even if hatari zaidi? Yeah. Then again, something else that caught my mind is that you see, judge alielezea vizuri sana about the community where Joy came from, what they said about this man. A very good man, yeah, very church, going to church every time, choir leader, all those things, good things. Even the chief, in fact, chief alinifurahisha sana. Huyu jamaa hajai kuwa na kesi, hajai kuwa mtu wa violence. But again, there's this probation officer who said this man is a bad. Na huyo judge alichukulia, alisema this caught my attention. Now hii mambo ya huyu probation officer. So it's like huyu jamaa hukumu yake it's based, hii mambo ya huyu officer venye alisema imechangia. And Bernard, you can hate me, maybe you don't like me, then you can say, you can describe me negatively, but that does not mean I'm a bad man. Maybe you are just saying that because you hate me, or maybe because of the tribal, or maybe because of your pressure from your bosses. See, so you cannot sentence someone based on what other person said, you see, because huwezi jua feelings za huyo mtu mwingine. Then the last thing that caught my attention is, and this one I'm just saying, why was Maribe acquitted? And immediately she was acquitted, she was given a state job. Could it be? I'm just saying, I'm not saying it is, but could it be? This lady was promised that we shall help you, your case will be acquitted. Then, so that you'll never say anything, we shall provide you with a job. Because this is now outside in the public, in the talk of public, wananchi waamue. Yeah? Kwa nini huyu msichana alipewa kazi immediately, hata bila kuongojea kesi ifanyike? Could it that these people realized that during the sentencing day, this lady could be, atakuwa na ile feelings, anaweza kuwa na feelings ama ile emotional, I decided kusema ukweli. Then they decided to give her job because it's only 2 days ago wamempatia kazi na leo ndio ilikuwa judgment day. You see? So I'm telling you, Bernard, we are living any dunia. What I can finish by, I can saying the last is that being poor, Bernard, being poor, I can tell you in this country is a criminal. Is being criminal.
It's a crime.
Is a crime.
So, asante Defy, tunashukuru kwa hiyo. Naomba tumakinike kila mmoja tunapoendelea na mjadala. Yes, Bwana Guru, unasemaje?
You know, these people saying that the murder weapon was found, but we are not told that there was any trace of DNA on that murder weapon, because it is presumed that is the knife that was used to sever the neck of this girl. I mean, what is this? How can it be? Because all what I hear the lawyer saying is that there was some blood on a certain shot, which some had pockets, others did not have a pocket. So this thing, Bernard, is deeper than you think. And for me, I will say this: this was a high-level murder case involving very strong forces, and money, big money, was at the center of it. As to the role that this young man played, that one is what we don't know. But there's the motive was money, basically, or some business rivalry back where she was living. Some people are not happy that there's a young girl maybe was being used by some senior fellows in Sudan to siphon money that they thought they should share or something. You can, you are dealing with people who have been in a civil war for many years. And these kind of things, I believe they are very well fast with, because that's what they have been doing for the 21 years they were in civil war. So to come and say there was training, yes, the experience even could have been there. I mean, the person who did it was merciless, first of all. Is somebody who has been in a situation that his mind does not function like a human being. In the first place, why did he have to go to that length to use that method if elimination was what this young man wanted to do? Why go so long a distance while there are other perhaps much easier and faster ways of accomplishing the whatever is said to have done? Because you see, everything has a reason. That's why it is said, especially in crimes of passion, you find somebody stabbed more than 10 times, because you can see that person was doing it in a range. But when you shoot once and somebody dies, that the motive could have been either to injure or kill. Now, when you go to a point of severing somebody's neck, I mean, is that the most plausible way of eliminating somebody who you want to eliminate anyway? Why would you go to that length of doing that, and then perhaps even leaving your traces of evidence, when you can do it perhaps in a much easier way and leave no trace whatsoever? These are serious matters, Bernard. Asante.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Guru. We appreciate that. We salute everybody who is joining us in the conversation. I can see spirited effort hapa. Asil 2 TV anasema, please follow the case from day one. If he was paid to murder, aseme mwenyewe alitumwa, but all the evidence of killings was there. Of course, somebody died, so there was a killing. Yes, we don't deny. What we are really at pains to accept is that this killer is Jowie. Okay, because you will not sentence somebody for murder when you cannot completely remove every other shadow of doubt that this is the specific killer. Because one of the reasons why we harsh punishment is given or harsh judgment is given to such cases is to discourage other people from following that particular path. But if you don't prove this is the person who did what happened beyond reasonable doubt, I think it is an injustice. So we are not saying that Monica's family has gotten justice. It is wrong if they're going to hang a wrong person and leave the real killers of Monica Kimani roaming. That will not be justice for Monica Kimani's family, and it will not be justice for Jowie. That's all we seek here. We want the rightful people who participated into the murder pay for their crime, not another person, not another sacrificial lamb. And that is all we seek here. We want the truth. We want the truth. Kuna nani huyo anasema hapa, McDonald anasema he had an assault case while out on bail. Why are we not mentioning that? He was a violent man. Okay. I don't know. But me kichungaji huwa tunaangalia maswala historia ya mtu. Okay? Historia ya mtu. Does he have that history of assault? Did he have it in primary school? Did he have it in secondary school? Did he have it at college? Or is just one incident that took place and this time he was on probation? What provoked all that assault case? Then this probational officer who comes and says this man is has double personality, this person is violent, he's angry, he forces people. He has not proven that by producing those people to court. You say this person was forced to give Jowie 2,000 Kenya shillings when he was not willing. We needed to have those complainers who came to prove that this probation officer, what he's saying is true, because Mama so-and-so was assaulted, Baba so-and-so was insulted, Kuka so-and-so was beaten, this neighbor was beaten. We needed to have that so that we are really convinced that we are dealing with a serial killer, and left to the public is going to murder more people. That way I'll be convinced. But the story ile mnaniambia ati mnafukuza story ya chief, mfukuze story ya pastor wa mshirika. Okay, mnasema hiyo story si kweli. So mnasema pastor alikubaliana na mama kuja kudanganya koti, chief pia akakubaliana na mama kuja kudanganya koti. Aliyesema ukweli ni probation officer. I'm not convinced. Otherwise, nashukuru kila moja. Alex, you're trying to get into the studio. I think you need to clean the cookies. Inaonekana umefungiwa nje. Pole lakini. If you can get me, Alex, clear the cookies, you will be able to join. I think your gadget has been given red alert to stay in the studio. You know how we do it. You are a veteran. So clean up your cookies. You will be able to join into the conversation. Yes, Mr. Guru.
The earlier stories that had come out of this case was first and foremost that this lady had been stopped at the airport for some time on that day of a particular issue. Then on her way after she was released, she called this young man. So you can't really get, this is not somebody who just went into the house. It's somebody who was known to this lady, and she's the one who called him. So now, how it turned out to be a murder, I can't tell, honestly. It's something very, very suspicious. And when you look at even the pronouncements of the judge, she was not specific on what was presented in court as evidence. She started shooting wide that many girls have been killed in the past. Sijui Nation newspaper wrote this. which international organization said this. But it just boggles the mind how that is the basis on which you pronounce, and I'm not saying it is innocent. I'm just raising issues that need to be corrected so that people can be very sure that this is exactly the killer of this particular lady. And then there is something else. What was the role of the other partner? How much does she know? Did she just assist somebody who she did not know what had happened, but knew somebody had been killed? What was her duty? What was her role? Because it is the judge herself, when he found the young man guilty and acquitted the other young lady, said that she was culpable of assisting in defeating justice. And the only thing is that that was not the charge that was brought before the court. Now, the question is this: what did she know? What does she know? Is she innocent? You know, these things will not escape Kenyans. They will ask these questions because pronouncing a death sentence on someone is not an easy thing. In fact, it is said, the law says it's better to release one person who is not guilty than actually condemn somebody who is innocent. So these matters are serious, and not unless they are disentangled. What was the role of the other lady who assisted this young man, as he said, to conceal what had happened? We don't know her story. Okay? But if it was somewhere perhaps in Europe or America, either she would have been used as in what we call pre-bargain, where you give details of what happened and then you get a writer sentence. But here is a person who jointly did something, but is exonerated without any testimony of exactly what happened. What were they doing? It's a serious matter.
Interesting indeed. Thank you, Mr. Guru, for that. And we will continue asking these questions until we get right answers. I don't mind Jowie being sentenced to whatever sentence he receives, but let it be that he's guilty. Or let it be proven that he's guilty. Not for us to be treated to those stories that Transparent International, Amnesty, what. Let there be clear-cut evidence. Still to TV unasema he served in Afghanistan. I don't know that. I mean, can we have evidence to that? He served as what? Do Kenyans go for training in Afghanistan, or he served as a police officer? What did he serve in Afghanistan to do? Was he part of Al-Shabaab? Was he part of Al-Qaeda? How is that? And was that part of the evidence placed before the court? I don't know. I may not have all the details, but from what I see and what I'm hearing, I think this matter needs to be taken as a matter of national interest, and Kenyans should be given the right information. I don't believe what the judge is saying is everything and enough to get somebody hanged. No, it's to me, it's one thing. We need more convincing proof that actually the killer of Monica Kimani is Jowie. Let it be linked completely, not circumstantial and not stories. We are living in we call it what? A very highly advanced technological age. Many things can be used to tie things together. We need those proofs okay, that prove that according to the autopsy or the postmortem done on the body of Kimani, she died at a specific time. Where was Jowie at that time? Was he in that house or he was outside that house? That needs to be part of the evidence. You left in so-so place, going to Monica's house. The person you saw last, you were last with was Jackie Maribe, okay? Where were you with Jackie Maribe before you went to Monica's house? Let that be linked because that's the last instant. But hii story mrefu ingine, and then of course the family business. We want to know the family business that Monica was doing in Southern Sudan. Was it in a building? Was it licensed business? Was it unclear business? What business were they doing? Did they have, were they partners in that business? Was Jowie an investor in that business? What was the bone of contention here? What were they fighting over? There is the angle of Jowie being hired to kill Kimani, or wherever, Monica Kimani. No problem. Was he doing that service? Is there any evidence to that effect? Is there anybody who can, attest to the same? Ama is just claim after claim. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep listening and, of course, participating. You can use this link to get in the studio and give your side of the story. But where I am, I'm not satisfied. I think there is much more to this than meets the eye, and we need to get to the bottom of this. I believe we can sort this matter clearly and, of course, rightly if we really seek the truth. But what we are being treated to, in my opinion, is a joke, kind of. Well, let's listen to what the doctor is saying first, or let me just finish out this.
Hukumu iliyotolewa leo dhidi ya Joseph Jowie Irungu imekamilisha kesi iliyogonga vichwa vya habari tangu mwaka 2018. Hata hivyo, hukumu ya kifo iliyotolewa na Jaji Grace Nzioka imeibua maswali mengi miongoni mwa Wakenya, ikikumbukwa kuwa mahakama ya upeo mwaka 2015 ilitoa uamuzi kwa hukumu ya kifo ni ukiukaji wa haki. Mary Mwoki na taarifa zaidi.
The offense of murder under section 204 of the Penal Code of Kenya.
Hukumu hii iliposomwa moja kwa moja kwenye runinga, Wakenya walikumbana tena na swala hili nzito la hukumu ya kifo. Joseph Jowie Irungu akiwa wa hivi punde zaidi kupewa hukumu hii ambayo kabla ya kusitishwa mwaka 2017 ilitumika kama hukumu dhidi ya washukiwa wanaopatikana na hatia ya mauaji. Katika kesi dhidi ya Francis Karioko ya mwaka wa 2015, mahakama ya upeo iliamua kwamba hukumu ya kifo katika kesi ya mauaji ni ukiukaji wa sheria. Hii ilimaanisha kuwa baada ya mwaka 2017 utoaji wa hukumu hiyo utasalia mikononi mwa jaji anayesikiza kesi, hukumu hiyo ikiwa adhabu ya juu zaidi ya mauaji, ila sio adhabu ya pekee kwa kosa hilo. Hii leo hakimu Grace Nzioka akiamua kumpa Jowie hukumu ya kifo kwa kuangazia uzito wa kesi hiyo ya mauaji ya Monica Kimani.
Evidence of the doctor who conducted the postmortem report indicated that the person who perpetrated this offense cut the throat of the deceased through and through. In that judgment, I spoke to an understanding that the person was not an amateur. The person must have had some training. And remember, the evidence even revealed that after the offense was committed, the deceased was put in the bathtub and the shower tap was put over to run the blood off. The manner in which the offense was committed did not at any time intend to give the deceased one more minute to live.
Tangu taifa kujinyakulia uhuru, washukiwa 280 walihukumiwa kifo walinyongwa. Mtu wa mwisho kunyongwa nchini Kenya ni Hezekiah Ochuka, aliyepatikana na hatia ya uhaini katika jaribio la kupindua serikali mnamo mwaka 1982. Ochuka alinyongwa mnamo Julai mwaka 1987 katika gereza la Kamiti. Mary Mwoki, runinga ya Citizen.
Mambo ni kama hayo. Huyo jaji ndio huyo tena anaendelea kusisitiza kwamba autopsy report, postmortem report inaonekana anasema mshukiwa alikata shingo la mtuhumiwa ama the victim over and over. Na kama vile Guru aliuliza, kama wewe ni muuaji mzuri na umepewa kandarasi ya kuua huyu mwanadada, utatumia kisu kama kuku, kama mbuzi? This thing is not adding up from where I sit, because there are many ways of eliminating somebody quietly in the apartment without anybody noticing whatever it is. There is poisoning. There are gases nowadays you spread and somebody just goes off in their sleep or otherwise. Hii kwangu mtani convince otherwise, lakini mimi sijakuwa convinced. Huyo judge hajani convince, na sieti na mtetea Jowie. Mimi simjui Jowie, hajai kutana hivi, lakini sitaki mtu ambaye ni innocent ahukumiwe bure, na wale majangili wanaua watu wameachwa bure, wanaendelea kuua dada zetu, wanaendelea kuua mama zetu. That should not be let to happen. We either have a justice system that secures our justice, or we shouldn't have it in the first place. Kwa nini watu walipe mshahara kwenda kuachilia kufunga wale watu hawastahili na wanaachilia wale ambao wanastahili kufungwa? To me, that is annoying. Yes, Mr. Guru.
KPLC ilikuwa imefanya ile kitu. Unajua sasa kuna nyesha inakata stima mara moja. Tumerudi hapo sasa. Anyway, this case, I don't see it going away anytime soon, because even the questions in the public domain are just too many. I am sure even the legal minds will have to exercise themselves very much to this case. First of all, there is no motive that has been induced. Number two, the manner of killing was an overkill. And you would wonder why one would go to such length. And whether it is even possible to do it alone. Okay? And without people hearing, or in an apartment. No, slaughtering a human being is not slaughtering a goat or a chicken. So I think there is more than meat there here. Me, I think like I hazard and guess, this boy is between a rock and a deep blue sea. He knows the forces. He's damned if he talks. He's damned if he does not talk. And like Secretary General said, he's being foolish. I don't want to say that he is foolish, because human beings, by their nature, they go for self-preservation. Maybe he's still weighing, because he could just pronounce that and find himself dead in a short while. But then again, like you say, you can never be sure now. You never know. You can't be sure of what will happen next. So I think this case is similar to another one that happened some time back that involved a journalist who was looking for Kabuga. And that case has never been resolved. It is never known who did what he did. And that case just goes. So this boy could just be the fall guy in the whole scheme of things. He just used as a stooge. Somebody has to carry the skunk on behalf of a bigger scheme that was too complicated for him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Guru. Interesting times, indeed. But I'm still on this one. Okay, I wanted us to remember the story of, you remember, Mr. Guru, Julie Ward, okay? When a case has somebody to be protected, the investigations and the kind of rulings that come out of the courts are always leaving a lot to be desired. The Julie Ward case has been dragged on and on and on and on, only for us to come and learn years later, okay, that the people involved in this were close to power, and power kicked in to ensure that these responsible people are not linked to the murder. And so this is beginning to appear in the same light, that somebody involved in this is an important person, and that person needs to be protected by all means. And so let's get a sacrificial lamb to pin the case to, so that we divert the attention from the VVIP. But my question is, for how long are we going to do this? Do we think we have now become God, we have become sovereign, that we will escape with all the lies that we want to feed the public with? The judges that are rendering this kind of judgments, I think there are some things that even if you're asked to do, you should just, you have a right to withdraw from the case. You have a right to say, no, I will not do this. I will not preside over this case. The moment the case begins to be, especially an innocent person, you are being given a call, like there is that video I think we were playing here of Idi Amin. They say you must find that journalist guilty and sentence him to death by hanging. Okay, now you're given instruction to rule a certain way. Why should that be the case? To me, kama kesi haieleweki, ipelekwe polepole. Kama inapelekwa polepole, tutafute muuaji ni nani. Hakuna haja ya kuharakisha, hakuna haja ya kukimbiza kesi. Hata huyo jaji alisema aliulizwa na wafungwa kule korogoroni, mbona kesi hii mnaharakisha na zetu hatujafikiwa, na sisi ndio tulitangulia katika hii maneno? Why is this case being hurried? Why are they so swift into a ruling? The autopsy that is given, or the evidence given by the wherever the pathologist, the way that judge is describing, it is not linking Jowie to that. It's just saying the killer did this and this. Now, that killer, who is capable of doing that? Why should it be is Jowie and no one else? Why should it be a forced aspect of the same? Kuna hii story McDonald anasema Maribe lied. You can't lie forever. There are many ways of getting information. If Maribe lied, there is Safaricom, okay? There are CCTV everywhere in Nairobi. We are not living in the Stone Age period. Even the Huko murder. The Huko murder was so intense that everybody was around the death. There were no CCTVs. There were nothing, but those people were killed and eliminated just to secure specific people. Leo, we have advanced mechanism, advanced technology. Mambo yanaweza kujulikana, ijulikane the specific time. Sababu ya autopsy ama wherever the postmortem is to establish, one, the cause of death, two, the time of death. not for you to go and do a forensic audit on when the person died, how the person died, the cause of the death. Then you still throw that out and tell us the reason why you are sentencing this person is because the victim was cut over and over. Cut over and over doesn't prove anything. Prove to us that the person who did the cutting is this one because he used this knife and this knife is traced to him. And he was in that house at that specific time when this person died. Lakini mnatuambia mimi ni story tu kwangu, inakaa kama composition. Mutanisamehe lakini. All the same, thank you very much. Let's hear what the doctors are saying as we begin to wind up. It's 1 o'clock already, East African time. Thank you for joining. Please, let's keep liking the video, participate in the poll question. Let's keep watching.
Now, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union has announced that the doctors' strike will kick off on Wednesday midnight, following the lapse of the 7-day strike notice. While announcing the commencement of the nationwide strike, KMPDU's Secretary General Dr. Davji Atela said the government has not shown a willingness to address the grievances raised by doctors and has failed to honor the 2017 collective bargaining agreement.
A strike is the only power that workers have. Withdrawal of labor and skills is the only way that a worker can compel a heartless, belligerent employer to come to the table to negotiate. Regrettably, the government has shown a lack of willingness to address these pressing concerns, leaving healthcare workers in a state of frustrations and dismay. It is with great disappointment and sadness that we announce the commencement of our nationwide strike from tonight, the 13th day of March at 00 hours.
As KMPDU, we have crossed the Rubicon and we're at a point of no return. The strike notice that was signed dated 6th of March 2024 expires tonight, and we advise our doctors across the country to begin discharging patients and referring them, because the government has been on strike for the last 7 years, and tonight we will join them fully.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the mix-up. KPLC has done that thing again. Oh God, I'm in the wrong one. Oh God have mercy. All. Okay, thank you. Yes, they get into the right stream. I think I'm the one for parliament. And even that one should be. This is not it. Either. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the mix-up. KPLC has done that thing again, so we are not able to continue. Sorry, I don't know where Mr. Guru is. Are we still here? Confirm if you're able to get me. I can see his comment section. Asil to Praise J. Confirm if you're able to get me. Ama kunaendaje hapa?